Welcome to the Macdownunder Podcast for all Australian Apple computer enthusiasts and collectors.
Welcome to episode 32 of the Macdownunder Podcast. I'm Justin, and thanks for joining me today, and thanks for all the likes and comments on our previous videos. Today's episode is the next in the series on Apple keyboards. Last week we spoke about Apple's USB keyboards, and this episode is all about Apple's wireless keyboards. We'll also cover off our regular collecting news, coming events, and recent for sale finds. So, on to today's episode. So, last week we spoke about this white Apple keyboard with the white keys in the clear case, but with a USB connection. Well, 4 months after this was released, Apple announced the Apple wireless keyboard. So, same design, same keyboard layout as the Apple keyboard in white, except no USB cable, no USB ports. Instead, we've got a battery compartment for 4 AA batteries and an on-off switch. Otherwise, the mechanism is essentially the same, but now we've got a wireless keyboard using Bluetooth 1.1. Now, one of the interesting things about this particular keyboard and its Bluetooth implementation, it doesn't work with iPads, iPods, or iPhones. And it's got limited availability, I believe, in some of the Macintosh operating systems as well. Nevertheless, the original Apple keyboard, wireless keyboard, still pretty easily available, as you'll see in the for sale section. So fast forward to 2007, and Apple have redesigned the wireless keyboard now into an aluminium enclosure. And of course, we're now in the Intel era, which is a bit too new for the podcast, but nevertheless, we'll do it anyway. So this now uses 3 AA batteries through a port in the stand. So quite an elegant solution, putting the batteries in the stand. And the on-off switch has now moved to the other side. But the key difference, as you'll see, is we're now using the MacBook keyboard layout. So for the moment, no keypad, it's disappeared again. Some modified arrow keys and these smaller function keys. And as we talked about in the USB keyboard episode, we've now also got these special function keys for expose and for pulling up the dashboard. So this is the second generation Apple wireless keyboard, 3 AA batteries. Oh, and also the Bluetooth port, just to point it out, is on here on the right hand side of the keyboard as it's facing me. That becomes important. Okay, so fast forward a couple of years to 2009, and we've got an updated Apple wireless keyboard. Looks essentially the same as the previous model. Still has the same keyboard layout, but this one is now Bluetooth 2, and so the Bluetooth window has moved to the center of the keyboard. It's a little bit wider as well, but otherwise essentially the same, except it only requires 2 AA batteries now. So from 4 in the original wireless keyboard to 3 in the previous version, now down to 2 in this particular version. But otherwise, no significant change. Now, fast forward another 2 years to 2011, and we get another update to the keyboard. Now, this time, the hardware is essentially the same. It's still Bluetooth 2 with the centralized Bluetooth window, still 2 AA batteries, but now, instead of the expose and dashboard keyboards, we've now got, I keep on needing to remember, mission control and launchpad, all those squares that we spoke about in the USB episode. So same keyboard, I'll do a close-up to show you the difference, but those 2 keys have now changed. Now, moving well and truly into the contemporary era, in 2015, Apple again redesigned the Apple wireless keyboard, and we now get the Magic Keyboard. So this is the first generation Magic Keyboard. Again, very much using the MacBook layout. The same key configurations as we've seen before. So again, we've got mission control and launch pad for function 3 and function 4. We're now using Bluetooth 3, and we're now using an internal lithium-ion battery, which is charged through a lightning port, and there's an on-off switch on the back of the keyboard as well. Obviously a much lower profile, and at the moment only available in silver. Okay, fast forward 2 years to 2017, and we've got a minor update to the keyboard. And the only real change with this particular model in 2017 is that for the Alt and Control keys, we've now got symbols. So again, I'll do a close-up for you, but instead of the text keycaps in the earlier model, now in the 2017 model, we have an icon for the Alt and the Control keys. Otherwise, essentially the same wireless keyboard. Now, at the same time as that new key variation came about, we also got the extended wireless keyboard, or the wireless keyboard with numeric pad, as it became known. So again, it's very much the same layout, except we've got a keypad and the additional cursor control keys. Again, we've got the symbols this time for the Alt and Control keys, so no text on any of these extended wireless keyboards. Also connected to Lightning with an on-off switch. So this was the original one available for sale in silver with white keycaps. So also available later was this space grey version with black keys, released specifically for the iMac Pro of that era. In fact, the only iMac Pro that's been released at the time of recording. So very much key-coded to match that iMac Pro, but otherwise mechanically identical. And a couple of years later in 2019, there was a silver version of the keyboard released with black keys to go with the Mac Pro of that particular era. Okay, moving on to 2021. So very much in the contemporary era. We got the updated Magic Keyboard with symmetric corners that match the curve of the keys. A lot of people say they're asymmetric. I don't get the asymmetric. I think they're actually very symmetric compared to the earlier model. And we've also now got, instead of the eject key, we've got the lock key in the top right-hand corner of the keyboard. Also still powered by a lithium-ion battery. This still has the lightning connector and the on-off switch. Now, these were available and were also available in the 7 colours of the M1 iMac. So the 6 colours of the Apple logo, pink, blue, green, purple, orange and yellow. No Steve Jobs now, so we've got a yellow iMac. And of course, the 7th one being silver. But this version with the lock key was provided only with the base model iMac with the 7 cores in the M1 chip. Now at the same time, they also released a version that had the Touch ID, which meant that you could use your fingerprint to unlock your iMac or other Mac. In fact, I use it with my Mac Mini, or also to provide verification for passwords in things like Safari and other network applications. So this model of the Magic Keyboard, the one with the Touch ID, was produced in the 7 colours, so the 6 Apple colours plus silver, so 7 colours in total. But the one with the Magic ID was provided to the iMac, with the iMac M1s that were the top of the range, hence the Touch ID button. Quite a few of these keyboards to collect. I'm sticking with the silver one for the moment, whilst they're still relatively new and still pretty expensive. But there were 2 variations available, the one with Touch ID and the one with the lock key in its place. There was also an update to the extended keyboard at the same time. So there was an extended keyboard in silver with white keycaps, still with the numeric keypad, but with the option of Touch ID. I don't have one of those, but what I do have is the silver and black version of that particular model from 2001. In fact, it's my daily drive, again with the lightning connector, and instead of the eject key, of course, we've now got the Touch ID key. Now, in 2024, so we're getting very, very new here, there was an update to remove the lightning connector and replace it with a USB-C connector. So this Magic Keyboard that I've got, in fact, has got the USB connector. And so there are multiple models, again, to match the 7 colours of the iMac. We've got the black and silver versions in the extended keyboard variety, but all with USB-C. So I'm guessing most people in our audience have used or are using wireless keyboards right at the moment, either at work or at home or potentially both. So which one's your favourite wireless keyboard? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. On to recent news, and I guess the big news this week for Macdownunder is that the global Apple Talk network, Global Talk, has been established. Details down in the description to join in, share files, and connect with others on that particular network. I hope you enjoy it. So on to coming events. So first up, Retro Gaming Bendigo. Not only have they changed venues, but they've got a second meeting for this month, and they've changed days to Sunday. So their next meeting is Sunday the 29th of March, 12:30 p.m. for a 1 o'clock start. Again, in the new venue at the Huntley Memorial Hall. So get your retro gaming on and get up to Bendigo. Technology Markets have got their next market on Sunday the 22nd of March. This one will be at the Springers Leisure Centre in Keysborough. Links down in the description. Next up, the Train and Hobby Show, not this weekend, but the following weekend, the 14th and 15th of March at the Sandown Racecourse. So not only are there trains, model cars, remote control planes, but there's computers and other retro electronics as well. So make sure you get down there. Declan, friend of the show, previous co-host, and Matt from the Mac Museum are both going to be there. I'm going to try to get there as a guest on a couple of the days too. But get down to the Train and Hobby Show on the 14th and the 15th of March for your retro computing fix. Adelaide Retro Computing Group continue to meet. Their next meeting is the 13th of March on Friday from 5:30 till 10:30 p.m. in the usual place at the Unley Community Centre. The Mac Museum continues to be open every Saturday from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. But this Saturday, the 7th of March, is the enthusiast meeting. So first Saturday of the month is the enthusiasts, and this is the first of those for the year. So get down there between 10 and 2. I'll try to get there as well. All right, time for the for sale items. So this week, of course, I'm focusing on Apple wireless keyboards, and they're remarkably collectible, as you'll see. So let's start off with the original wireless keyboard, the white one. So in Sydney, for $30, we've got what looks to be 2 white wireless keyboards, plus an aluminium USB keyboard as well. Now, it's not clear from the ad. I suspect it's $30 each. And I can only really tell from the photos whether they're wireless or not. So you do need to check with the seller, but a great deal if it's $30 for that particular keyboard. And if it's the bundle, even cheaper. So check it out. Next up, this is absolutely an Apple wireless keyboard, model 1016 from New South Wales for $62.88. So it's a very specific price. Buy it now from New South Wales. Next up, same keyboard, but this one's in WA, in Western Australia, for $89. Buy it now. And the last on my list, from Victoria, again, the same model, 1016 for $133 in Victoria, the Victorian Premium. Next up, let's look at the second generation wireless keyboard. So, if you're in Victoria, there is a bargain for you in Gisborne. So no dollars. So free Apple Magic keypad and trackpad. This one's the one with the expose and dashboard keys on it. So can't really tell if it's the 2 or the 3 battery option. But for free, it's a bargain. Also in Queensland, in Brisbane, in fact, there's another one of the second generation Apple wireless keyboards with the expose and dashboard keys. Again, can't tell whether it's the 2 or 3 battery version. But this one, again, free of charge because they want to move it on. What a great deal. Okay, next up in WA, for $10 you can get 2 Apple wireless keyboards. These ones appear to have the expose and dashboard keys as well, but again, can't tell which particular version it is from that. In the ACT, for $20 you can get the same keyboard, again with the expose and dashboard keys. Again, can't tell from the photos which version it is. Now in New South Wales, for $25, again the same looking Apple wireless keyboard, but this one's got the mission control and launchpad keys. So I know this is the last of the 3 in that series, which only needs 2 AA batteries. And finally, in South Australia, for $40, we've got the Apple wireless keyboards. This one has got the expose and dashboard keyboards, but we know, because there's a photo of the double battery icon. I think that must be a sticker because it's not on any of mine, but this one is the early model, $40 from South Australia. So 2 other quick honourable mentions, some cheap Magic keyboards. So from Brisbane for $20, we've got this Magic keyboard with the symbols, so it's the second version of this. And in New South Wales for $30, we've got the text keycap version of the Magic keyboard for $30 in New South Wales. Well, that brings us to the end of episode 32 of the Macdownunder Podcast and our episode about wireless keyboards. So far we've covered Apple's early keyboards. We've covered the Apple desktop bus-based keyboards. We've covered Apple's USB keyboards last week, and now we've covered Apple's wireless keyboards. But of course, there are other Apple external keyboards out there. We actually talked about the Apple Newton keyboard, the serial keyboard, a little while ago. But there are others that were designed specifically for the iPad, also work with the iPhone and the iPod. So we won't talk about them next week. They're a bit too new and a bit too expensive for me and my collection, but in a future episode, we'll cover those off too. In any case, let me know what you thought about our Apple keyboard series down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And if you've got any suggestions for future episodes, let us know down in the comments as well. That'd be great. So don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on future episodes. And don't forget that this Saturday at the Mac Museum from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. is the Enthusiast Day. So make sure you get down there. I'll certainly try to get there as well. So thanks again for joining me today. Until we see each other next time, take care. Thank you for joining the Macdownunder Podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you again soon.